I was in the student center of Brown, and I was in a study room. I'd gone in for about 10 seconds to pick something up, and I'd left my backpack and my longboard outside in the hallway right in front of the door. And as I'm walking out, I pick up my longboard, and I can't find my backpack. And so I started looking around. Maybe I misplaced it somewhere. Maybe I left it on the grass when I was doing flips before. Maybe I left it in the dining hall, but it's nowhere to be found. And I start thinking maybe somebody stole it. And so I look around and I notice there's a security camera. And so I go to the front desk and I ask the woman there if she can help me see the security footage. And she says she can't. And so I ask who does have access to the security footage, and she tells me that I should call the Brown Police Department. So I call the Brown Police Department, and they dispatch someone to come meet me, and he takes my report, and I tell him all the information, and I go, okay, can I see the security footage from the camera? And he says, no, you can't. And I go, okay, who can see? Can you see it? And he's like, no, I can't. Only detectives can see this. And I'm like, okay, can I meet with a detective? And he's like, no, you can't. They're occupied. You can't meet with a detective. And I'm like, okay, can you give me the phone number or email of a detective? And so he gives me a card of a detective, and then he leaves. And so I call the detectives, no answer. I email the detective, no answer. And so I get on my longboard and I go to the police department at Brown. And I talk to the guy behind the glass and explain what's going on. And he's like, sorry, you can't talk to a detective and you can't see the security footage. And I refuse to leave. And so I continue talking to him, and we make friends and we make some jokes and we talk about his family, and my phone runs out of battery, so he helps me charge my phone. And like 2 hours later, he's like, you know what? Let me go see if I can get a detective to come speak to you. And I'm like, thank you so much. And the detective comes out, and I'm like, hi, somebody stole my I don't know where my backpack is. I want to see if maybe there's security footage to see what happened. And he's like, sorry, kid, you can't see it. Even Providence police can't see this footage for like 9 days. And I'm like, okay, can you see what happened and tell me what you see? And he's like, okay, sure. And I'm like, thank you so much. And so he gets in his car to go to the security room, and I join him in the car. And we get there, and he's like, stay in the car. I'll go see what the security footage said. I'm like, okay. And I get out of the car, and he's like, okay, you can't come in the building because you're not allowed to see this footage. I understand. And I just walk into the building with him. He doesn't stop me. And so we get into the security room, and we set the footage to the right time in the right place. And we see this video of this guy walking, like we see me walking into the room, and I'm inside for 10 seconds. And 8 seconds later, this guy walks by, sees my backpack, grabs my backpack, and runs away. Apparently somebody actually did steal my backpack. And while this happened, I pulled out my phone and took a video. And so here's what happened.
Yes, my partner just gave you the phone number for the detective. Did you copy that?
Oh, wow.
It was the wrong extension.
Okay, see him, there he goes.
Okay. And then is there footage from another?
And so then we go back to the police station, and I'm talking to the detective, and at this point I grabbed his phone and I set up Find My iPhone so that if the person who got my laptop connected to the internet, then he would see it on his phone. So he's like, okay, we got Find My iPhone set up on my phone. Go back to your room, live your life normally. We'll tell you if anything pops up, if anything happens. And I refused to leave. And so I stayed there and just spent 45 minutes drilling him on the history of crime at Brown. How often this happens? When does it happen? Who do they generally catch? Where do they catch them? And it turns out that they basically never catch them. They never, ever get the laptops back. And I'm sitting there, and I just kept asking him questions and tried to put myself into a position of if I was a person who would steal a laptop, what would I do? And so I thought, well, if I stole a laptop and it was locked, I would replace the hard drive, and then I'd have a new laptop. I figured that this guy probably wouldn't know how to do that. And as I'm talking to the detective, I found that I thought maybe I would go to the Apple store. And he said, well, whenever we go to the Apple store, they always tell us we're not in the security business and that they never let us see any security footage or help us at all. And this is in the time before Uber. And I didn't have a car. And basically what I said is, I'm good with people. I'm sure I can talk to whoever is behind the desk at Apple and convince them to help me. Would you mind driving me to the Apple store? And so the detective agreed. And we got in the car, and he drove me to the Apple store in the mall, and then he went back to Brown. And one other important thing is, during this time where we're in his office and we're talking about this and we're becoming friends, he goes, well, I'm not allowed to show you any of the security footage. Well, we got another photo of this guy from a different angle. This one shows his face. I'm not allowed to show it to you, but it's on my phone. I'm going to go to the bathroom. And so I grabbed his phone and I texted the image to myself, and now I have a picture of what this guy looks like. There was a point earlier that day when I was going to different places trying to figure out if I forgot my laptop somewhere, where I sat on the steps of the dining hall, and I thought to myself, what happens if I don't find my laptop? Basically, I'd worked all the summer before that to be able to buy a laptop. The eldest of 5 kids, we immigrated to the United States when I was in the beginning of high school. I'm on financial aid, all my siblings are on financial aid. Like, if I didn't get this laptop back, I'd be in really, really big trouble because I wouldn't be able to buy another laptop. Not only that, but I had all my information on that laptop. And it was this point where I was like, I can either give up and let it go, or I can do everything humanly possible to get this laptop back. And I would not stop until I get it back. And that is the decision that I decided I was going to do. I canceled every single meeting that day. I was not going to rest until I found this laptop. And in going to the mall, to the Apple store to try and get it back, like, I did the expected value in my head. Like, the chances of the person being in the mall or footage being in this random Apple store was like 3%. But I was like, if he's not in this Apple store, I'm going to go to the next Apple store and the next Apple store and the next Apple store until I find the person who stole my laptop, and I'm going to get it back. And so I walk into the mall, and as I'm walking through the mall, in the footage, the guy had a gray hoodie, a blue vest, and a blue cap. And I'm walking towards the Apple store, and as I'm walking towards the Apple store, I see this guy sitting in the corner of the mall with a gray hoodie and a blue vest and a blue cap. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the guy. And so I turn around and exit the mall, and I grab the security guard by the door. I'm like, hey, that guy stole my laptop. Like, can you help me get it back? And he's like, well, do you have evidence of this? And I'm like, hell yeah, I have evidence of this. And so I pull out my phone with a video of this guy and the picture of this guy, and I go to show it to him, and my phone is out of battery. The guy's just sitting there. So he's like, sorry, can't help you. And so I go up to the guy who's sitting on the floor, and I'm like, hey, hi. My friends told me you found my laptop. I could not thank you enough. I just wanted to come say thank you and give you a reward and pick it up from you. And so he looks at me. He like starts getting up. He's like, I don't have your laptop. It's like, no, you don't understand. Like, my friends told me you found my laptop. I'm like so glad that you found it. I just wanted to like give you a reward and say thank you for finding my laptop. He's like, I don't have your laptop, kid. Leave me alone. Turns around and sprints out of the mall. And so I turn around and I start jogging after him. And then we exit the mall and start crossing the street, and now the guard is by me, and so the guard and I are running together, and then the guard takes 2 more steps, turns around, goes back to the mall. And so now I'm running after this guy who has my stuff. I can't see it on him, but I know that it's him. And we run down about 3 blocks, and I try to give him the easy way out again. I go, hey, my friends told me you found my laptop. I just wanted to like give you a reward and say thank you and pick it back up from you. It's like, I don't have your laptop, kid. Leave me alone. It's like, okay, fine. I know you have my laptop. Take it out now and put it on the ground. I don't have your laptop. I know you have my laptop. Take it out now and put it on the ground. I don't have your laptop. And at this point, he turns around, and I can see his face is white as a sheet. And I go, I know you have my laptop. This is your last chance. Take it out now. Put it on the ground. I will not follow you. Police will not follow you. This is your last chance. Take it out now, or I am coming after you, and I will not stop until I get it back. And he opens his bag, and he reaches in, and he takes out my laptop, and he puts it on the ground. And I go up, and I grab my laptop, and I hug it to my chest, and I kiss it. And he's like, now leave me alone, kid. And then I go, now take out my charger and put it on the ground. So he takes out my charger and he puts it on the ground. And at this point, we're approaching like this really sketchy dark alley area. And I don't want to follow him there. And at this entire time, I'm staying 25 feet away from him because if he had a gun or a knife, where did you put the rest of my stuff? In the second store bathroom of the mall. And so I turn around and I go back to the mall and I find a bunch of my notebooks and stuff like that inside a trash can in the second story bathroom of the mall. And so I call the detective and I go, hey, I got my laptop back. Can you please pick me up? How did you get your laptop back? And so he comes and he picks me up and I tell him the story and we're going to the police station. And the thing is, he can't tell the other policemen that he showed me the footage. Man, how'd you get this kid's laptop back? Well, you know these brown kids. They're very smart. This guy, he's got a photographic memory. The moral of the story is this. There was a point where I could have given up. And in so many different places in life just sucks. And you have to take it. But there's not a lot. In every single situation, you have an option to change the situation. And a lot of the times you can just change your reaction, but sometimes you want to change the events. And changing the events is super hard, and it takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of persistence and perseverance. And even in this case, I knew there was a 3% chance of me getting the laptop back. But the fact that it was a 3% chance does not mean that I'm not going to take the chance. I was going to do everything I could to get my laptop back. And if in the end of the day I didn't get it back, that would suck. But I still would do everything there is I could do to get it. And the thing is, sometimes in situations like this, I go all the way and I don't get my laptop back, right? In high school, I applied to boarding schools and I didn't get in. I got waitlisted. And then after I got waitlisted, I applied again and I emailed the admissions officer every day and I called his office and I wrote him letters and I got other people to write him letters and I didn't get in. Sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does. In this case, it did.